Hello, testing, testing. Hello, is anyone in? Hello, hello. Feel free to say hi if you're in. Welcome to the Facebook Live. Let's see. Hello, everyone on Facebook. Okay. Can I see someone telling me that you can hear me at least? Okay, let me check. Okay. Hi, hello from Instagram. Hello, Facebook. Okay, so let me check. Facebook, can you write some comments so that I know you guys are there?
Okay, so let me check.
Oh, okay.
Facebook, can you write some comments?
Okay. So strange. I'm not seeing. Oh, I'm seeing here. I'm not seeing here. Strange. All right. Interesting. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Please do like and share if you're here. Right, like and share. You're here. Hi. Oh, now it's coming up. Now it's coming up. Okay. Hi. Oh, I just realized that I look very green in Facebook. Okay. Hi, Rika. Hi, Lichi. Good evening. I'm glad to see you guys here today. So, right. So today's topic actually is going to be quite interesting. Of course, I'm not going to spend too long time talking about the Yitsu because really there's a lot about it. But today is mostly focusing into a little bit of snippet of 2025. And also, I would say, really the bigger question is like, what can we do right now in order for us to transit uh, to 2025 better? I think that's the key point here, right? So I know like many of you guys might be thinking that, oh, I'm going to talk about the Yitsu area. Well, yes, I'm going to, but not in this segment because it's a bit still too soon in my point of view, okay? But today, mainly, I'm just going to give a snippet on what we can really do right now at this point in time. And I do get some questions on asking me about, hey, why do I call it the Great Escape, by the way? Yeah, I got this question. Okay, so for those who just joined, again, feel free to like, comment, and share this out so more people can actually benefit from today's session. All right. So, actually, the reason why this is actually one of my practice as well. Like every time before I get to the new year, right? Actually, I already plotted a few years ahead, but now it's like every time when we are very near to the new year. I think in my practice so far, I think it's important to get to understand the year slightly earlier. Why is that so? So that a few months down the road, like from now till next year, I think there are a lot of things we can like clean up or little things that we can do, make better choices throughout the end year so that it can really help us in 2025. And I think that's the whole point, yeah, because sometimes I do feel like AY forecast is a bit too soon, you know. So yeah, and I think this kind of thing, which is the awareness bit, comes into a very important thing because you know day by day we are living well, as we are living day by day, actually, by now, I think the Yitzi energy has already slowly influencing us. Yeah. And if later on, when I'm going to share about what the Yitzi actually means, perhaps you might already start to get know a little bit more. Okay. Now, just let me share about myself first because some of you guys here may be new, right? Some of you guys here may not know me, right? Just to give a little bit of introduction about myself. My name is Esther. I'm from EC Metaphysics, and I'm the founder of EC Metaphysics. What I do is I help people to become a better version of themselves using few modalities such as Chinese metaphysics. I also do holistic solutions and also well-being solutions. Mainly, I'm using mostly Chinese medicine, even though my background is a pharmacist, right? So it's really a nice blend of all, okay? Now, this is all about me. If you can see, this is really a progression of how I am. And yes, I do kickboxing too, like that. So it's a huge part of my life at this point in time. Okay, so I have to put it there. All right. So okay, let me share with you guys. I've already put out this. Okay, now before I actually go to the Yi Si itself, I just want to talk a little bit of one thing, right? And this, by the way, if you notice, hey, what is this on the screen, right? This is, by the way, um, my Instagram, my Instagram time that I spend in a day. And by the way, this time when I print screen this time was actually around 12 p.m. today. Okay, was around 12 p.m. today, right? And it's more than usual today, right? So I'm not sure whether you guys actually monitor this, but I've been monitoring myself. And why? Because I noticed this year especially, right, more than usual, that I am scrolling Instagram more than usual, right? More than usual. And you know what's the funny thing? I watch a lot of reels. Okay, let me know if you guys do it too, right? You guys, I do believe you guys watch a lot of reels as well, right, in Instagram. And how you guys actually watch it is actually just scrolling. And you know the funny thing is also happens to me is that I don't really watch the reels. I mainly just like scroll through like that, right? And I believe you guys are actually doing the same, right? We just scroll from one reel after another, right? Whether we watch it or not, until like something catch our eye, then we'll stop. Okay, but do you guys experience this? Like let me know, okay, in the chat there, okay. I hope I'm not the only one who is actually scrolling social media like that, yeah. Okay, and actually in the daytime, looks like today I actually spend more than 1 hour. I actually spend more than 1 hour inside here. Yeah, I just spend more than 1 hour inside here. Now, and usually these things happen for me is that whenever I'm alone, whenever I'm waiting for a friend, or maybe whenever I'm waiting for my lunch, because I go out and eat lunch alone. So as and when I'm alone, I tend to take out my phone a lot and play. I tend to take out my phone a lot and play. And sometimes it's quite awkward not to do it, right? Because if I don't do it now and then, I notice people around me are also playing with their phone. Am I right, guys? Okay. Let me know if you guys are doing the same. It's just so strange that whenever we sit down, at this point, we just take out our phone to play. Correct? And when I'm out, sometimes I don't take out my social media to scroll, but sometimes I will watch. Yeah. Okay. I see one yes there. Yeah. So let me know if I'm not alone. Yeah, because I hope I'm not alone. Okay. So sometimes when I'm eating also, um, I turn on my Netflix. I turn on my Netflix. I put my earphones, right, and I'll watch my Netflix there while I'm eating alone. I don't think I'm the only one as well, because I've seen people around me who is next to me who's eating alone. They do exactly the same thing. Okay, so sometimes I wonder. There's one time, few days ago. Right? Sometimes, occasionally, this thought come out to me. Okay, like I'm thinking, why are we? How do we actually survive the era without smartphone in the past, or how do we survive the era without Netflix in the past? It just feels that every time, as and when there's time, we always flip. Of course, then I had this moment, right? It's like, oh, of course, look around us. We knew this is going to happen. And I know it as well because we've been talking about period 9, correct? And we're talking about period 9, and this year, okay, it's the second year of period 9, 2020. It's Next year is second year of 29. This year is the first year of period 9. And of course, with unknowingly, I too fall into the world of social media. And by the way, I don't play a lot of social media. Um, Before this, I'm not really one person who plays my social media a lot. Yeah. My phone battery can actually last the whole day. Now it cannot last the whole day anymore because I keep scrolling. And whenever I watch television downstairs, I'm also scrolling my phone. I have no idea why. But this is the real struggle, guys. And I think a lot of people out there are like that too. Okay, because I see people around me is also doing the same. But yes, it's period 9. So just before I go in there, being the first year of period 9, of course, right? Li Gua, why are we so into our social media? Why was I so into the social media? And I feel very guilty. And by the way, guys, if you have your Instagram account, please check how many hours you actually browse your Instagram. Yeah, you may want to check how many hours you actually browse your Instagram a day. Yeah, mine was more than 1 hour for sure today, so it's a lot. But I think the main reason why we are observing this is because it's period 9. Okay, it's period 9, and period 9, if you don't know, it is represented by the hexagram called Li Gua. Okay, by the trigram called Li Gua. And period 9 itself, the meaning of it, it's about attention. It's about outer beauty. As you can see, there is the two yang, two solid line outside, and in between is middle. So what it actually means, outside look very nice, inside is actually empty. Yeah, that's why period 9 and Li Gua actually represents digital. It also represents like people try to get a lot of your attention. Hence why period 9 currency is actually known as the energy. Okay, now we might think that it's okay. We might think that it's all right to scroll social media, right? Over time, it's not really that bad, right? Well, think about it long term. Actually, this year itself, my own struggle is whenever I get very anxious and very stressed, I cannot sleep and I start scrolling social media. Now that is not healthy at all. Okay, and that is how actually we will fall into this vicious cycle. It's like we are trying to relax using reels. At the same time, we overdo it, and then anxiety will start to build up, and we just cannot stop. Okay, now remember what it means. The whole idea is because whatever social media we're actually doing is actually trying to get our attention. Our attention technically is the energy. That's why a lot of times, even though we might feel that we are not doing much, but whenever we scroll social media on that day, right, we get more tired. Do you realize that? Yeah, because even if we are not paying attention on whatever it is on the screen, um, the energy is just draining. Yeah, even though we are just scrolling and not watching. Now, it is a very draining activity, right? So, social media technically, if it's overdone, it will really suck out a lot of energy. Now, that is just one source of energy vampire in period 9. One source. Because overall, there are many things that will eat up our energy. Okay, a social media is just one of it. Now, it is extremely difficult to get out of this vicious cycle. Now, I experienced it, and I believe perhaps you guys may have experienced it as well, because it's just so natural for us to scroll, right? Because you know, you know what the social media do to us, right, guys? Have you heard before of dopamine? Have you heard before on dopamine? Let me know if you heard before, because social media actually produces this thing called dopamine. Yeah. And dopamine is actually like a chemical that is produced in our body that makes us feel good. It's like a happy hormone like that. It gives us a sense of pleasure. But social media at the same time, it's also giving us a spike in that dopamine. A spike in dopamine means they don't come out gradually. They come out like a lot at the same time if we are doing this for a long time. But because it comes out in a very fast, more big spike, it also reduces very fast. So as and when this dopamine effect drops, we will feel very much more tired. Okay, so it's like sometimes we want to rest, so we scroll social media, but at the same time later after that you feel even more tired. So that is the impact of how long term social media, if it's not managed well, will create a lot of problems. Okay, again, I'm not saying that we all shouldn't use social media. I think that there is a good use of social media, right? We can browse and Google things, and I guess it's okay if it's used in a moderate way. But if it's used in an excessive way, that's when a lot of burnout will actually happen. There'll be a lot, and you know this kind of burnout situation, people get tired, and burnout literally is a period 9 term. Burnout, fire, right? Fire literally burns out. Okay, so this is what's going to happen even more in period 9. Okay, and this is the first year, right? 2024 is the first year, and we've been already seeing a lot of similar symptoms. Even for myself, my browsing hours actually increased compared to last year. Definitely increased, you know. So I feel much more exhausted in a way, partly because I'm using a lot more social media now. But yeah, it is still not very healthy. Now, again, I don't feel that there's anything wrong using social media, because for you guys here watching me, you all are also using social media to look at me. Okay, because that is the marketplace, right? That is where we are actually getting out our contents, getting out our message and things like that. But as a viewer, if it is not managed properly, if it is not intervened, if we do not manage it properly, right, it will turn to a very serious burnout. Not only that, because it is such a vicious cycle, and period 9 is a very hectic time, we get very tired very easily. And if social media is the only way to make us feel better in a short term, because remember, it produces the dopamine, right? And the dopamine is like a short, it's a spike of pleasure hormones, right? It makes us feel very happy instantly. Because of that, you know, that soft pleasure, you know, like every time you stress, don't tell me you don't look at your Instagram or Facebook. I'm sure you do. It gives you that kind of like watching certain videos make you feel like, wow, you know, it makes you feel good because that's the dopamine effect, right? So people tend, or we, if not control well, we will tend to get into this space and social media to actually escape, to actually forget things, to actually, social media will become a platform of distraction of reality. Okay, and the reason why am I telling you this? Okay, cat videos. Yeah, cat videos are extremely cute. Yes. Okay. So a lot of the things, you know, and I have lots of cat videos that comes out on my feed because cats are cute. Okay, cats are extremely cute, and I have 2 cats, so I love to watch cats. So yeah, cat videos. But over time, do you notice how much time you actually wasted actually by just browsing your social media? That is why I would urge you to go and check out how many hours you actually spend on your Instagram. I personally use a lot of Instagram most of the time, and this timing was snapshot in the afternoon, around 12 or so. Okay, already got 1 hour, and this is the average. This is the average throughout the whole week. Right? You can see what day I actually use a lot more social media. On Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I don't really use them. Only on weekdays I use them a lot. Okay, now and actually the reason why, what about dogs? Dog videos are, I have lesser dog videos now. Okay, I have lesser dog videos now, but dog videos are cute too. Okay, because now, because of the algorithm, right? So if you stay on the reels more than, if you stay in the reels for more than 5 seconds, they will send you the same reels all over again. right? If you know, if you get what I mean. And it's so hard to stop actually. And it's coming from me who generally can stop because of things, all right? Now, guys, the reason why I'm telling you this story, because it is extremely related to next year, okay? And it is already like the first year of period 9, 2024. I'm already feeling it, okay? Dogs are great, my baby cute doggy. Okay, so I believe your feed has a lot of dogs, yeah? Okay, good for you, right? But like again, why am I telling this story? Okay, because as we are progressing in period 9, okay, and next year is the second year of period 9, you know, like within period 9 technically lasts for 20 years, right? And in every year, there will be a time whereby certain things actually peak. Yeah, so like this year, like 2024, what actually heightened for period 9 is a lot of entrepreneur. A lot of people actually are doing their own side gigs now. Social media is also increased this year, right? And this is the main one, you know, the change in leadership, that is 2024. But when we come to 2025, the story is a bit different. Of course, it's still encompassing the whole period 9, right? But what is going to be very obvious next year has to do with why I call the theme the Great Escape. Okay, and the reason why I give an example of the social media is because that is just one way for us to escape. Okay, there's just one way for us to escape, and it's just literally right at our fingertips. You know, it's just right at our hand. So, how do we get this idea? How do we get this idea of great escape? Now, we actually look at the pillar. Okay, so the pillar is called the Yi Si, right? Those who can read, the wood snake ear. Yeah. And this image itself, as you can see, even the behind me, and you can see in here, right? It's actually like this flower, okay? That it's coming out and it's flying. Yeah. So it's like, imagine like this seed pollination is happening. Okay. And the wind is actually blowing. Wind is blowing, spreading its seed. Okay, spreading its seed. So like traveling very far, pollination. Yeah. So that's the meaning of Yi Si itself in terms of its image, right? So the idea is it's about spreading. Okay, it's about spreading. It's about going viral. Yeah, it's about flying, freedom. Okay, it's that the idea of Yi Si. Now, again, I'm not saying that we cannot say that it's good or bad. Okay, we cannot say that because this is just a year. We want we want to discern, right? We cannot, obviously there's good and bad in everything, but what's really important to take note here is the main lesson out of it. Okay, the main lesson out of it, right? And the main lesson in here for 2024 is that we ought to see more escaping tendencies. Okay, escaping tendencies, right? If it is not controlled or managed well, okay, yeah, um, imagine like things that can fly from you. Okay, maybe your attention, maybe your soul, maybe your mind, so it will escape. So one of the main concern that I would really apply in these current times is that when a Yi Si comes into the picture, and whenever we are so into digital, we are so into this metaverse, fantasy, not only that, in the spiritual realm, you know, it will become negative if we are not aware of it. Okay, because all these tools, all these things, right, can actually become a form of distraction. That is one. Meaning to say, as and when as and when we become stressed or burn out, or whenever we have problems in reality, right? What do we do? Maybe there's an easy way to just pick up your phone and browse through social media. And you forget about it. Well, is that a good coping mechanism? I would say yes. If we are overly stressed and if we are too tied down into certain idea, it's okay to take a break. Yeah, guys, I'm not saying that it's wrong. Okay, but if it is done in a very wrong manner, if it is done in a non say intentional way, you will get dragged by whatever is in the social media. Okay, drag, because whatever again is in the social media, again, energy vampire, it will take up a lot of your energy, right? It does, it just sucks you in. So basically it's like pulling out your energy. Okay, and then you get even more tired. And what's worse is, by the way, we can get addicted to this feeling. Yeah, we can get addicted to this feeling because it's euphoric, right? Even not sure whether you guys here do certain form of meditative practices. Now, this is not just on social media. The whole year itself is not just on social media, but it's any other forms as well, any other form of things that will bring us away from reality. Okay, such as, by the way, Netflix. Yeah, because everything is so convenient. We watch, we get addicted. So one day we don't watch Netflix, we feel like something is wrong, something like that. Okay, you every day die so need to watch one, and okay, that's one form of addiction, and it's an escape for you. Now again, it's fine to actually watch Netflix. Okay, I'm not saying it's not. Okay, now the next one is also on spiritual work. Okay, on spiritual work. And I know this is like, oh, the hot thing, like everyone is talking about spirituality, everyone is into this now because of course it's period 9, right? But again, period 9 always has its dark side. Everything has its dark side, and if it's not controlled well, it will come out in a certain way. So how can we relate spirituality with certain form of escapism? It's very common, by the way, right? So because I tell you the truth, I've been there. I got one period of my life when I first started to meditate, when I first started to go into very deep shamanic healing work, family constellation work. Mainly, I got hooked up with shamanic healing, okay, and deep stuff, okay, deep stuff, right? And even meditation and some sound healing work, right? All these little things, it becomes extremely addictive. So even for me, got one period of time, yoga has become too addictive, right? Why? Because every time when we do this kind of work, it what they say are like your soul leaves your body. I'm not sure whether you guys understand that or not. If you practice certain of this work, you know that this kind of practice, you can like get very light. You get very light, and you just don't want to get up anymore. You just want to like, go with the flow. Everything is just like that. It's like we get so the feeling is so euphoric, so nice, a bit of high feeling, and we're at this little bubble that it's all squishy and nice. So sometimes when it's overdone, right, it can create such feeling. And this, at the end of the day, if we are not aware that we are doing it intentionally, it can lead to certain form of escapism. Okay, there are many people, right, who finds that going to these kind of practices brings comfort, right? Agreed? Yes. But it is not to avoid the reality. I think what people do, if it's not aware, is to go into these practices and then hoping that they'll forget about it and they don't have to deal with it. Yeah, and then whenever they wake up, I need to deal with the reality. I don't like it. Then I will want to go back to doing whatever it is. Yes. So, you know, if you experience something like that, please be very much aware about it, because personally, I did experience that, and I admit, because as and when I'm very stressed, I will go into that zone because it really makes me cut off a lot of things. In a way, it makes me cut away from reality, right? So this thing will become a form of addiction. That is why it is called the Great Escape. Okay, hence why possibly next year, of course, we would want to look at the whole Bazi chart itself, which I'm not going to talk about it much yet. It is possibly people will get a bit more, crazy lah. All right, in a way, what I mean by crazy means kind of delusional a little bit lah. Okay, so mental health is a very serious thing next year. Yeah, mental health is a very serious thing next year, mainly because people refuse to acknowledge their emotions and look into their emotions. Okay, mainly because of that, right? Because you there's a lot of problems, and you get yourself into certain things, and you don't want to care about that. That's the issue. And whenever we don't acknowledge the emotions, we don't acknowledge the feelings, it becomes very pent up, and one day we're just going to go crazy about it. Okay, so this is the main problem that's going to happen in 2025. Okay, so if you're wondering whether is it going to be good or bad, well, discretion, right? Because again, a time of escapism like that is not always bad, because we will get very inspired as well. Okay, during times whereby we travel with illusions, it's also where we garner a lot of creativity, right? But again, everything we need to measure in balance. Okay, everything we need to measure in balance. Hence why if you are not aware about it, okay, we will really just fly with the flower. Okay, and it's a very nice feeling, by the way. For those who practice something of certain work, you know it's a very euphoric feeling. Okay, and this is something that I think must be highlighted, okay, before the year. Right, reason why is because by the way, next month is November month, right? November month is Yi Hai month. Okay, the water the wood pig Yi Hai month. Next month, Yi Si is already coming in. Okay, next month, November month, Yi Si is already coming in. Okay, because we see the heavenly stamp, the first phase of the 2025 next month is already coming in. So we can already start to anticipate certain symptoms of 2025, okay, energetically next month. Okay, next month. So I think now it's extremely important to at least be aware that, oh, what are the things we can do, okay, for ourselves, right? Because I can tell you the reason why I this is important is because it's nothing to do with the opportunity. It's nothing to do with what you're going to do, whether you get rich, it has nothing to do with that, okay? It is not directly going to do with that, because this one literally has a lot to do with you, okay? Has a lot to do with you. What can you do to yourself right now? Okay, it's always better to do it before the energy fully kick in, and do it intentionally. I think what will make a huge difference is when we put intention to whatever we are doing, right? And this is the reason why I'm having this live. Okay, just to share that. Right now, this is about Yi Si. Okay, this is about the Yi Si. Okay, now these are the few things, three very important things that I would encourage everyone is listening here, or anyone, okay, to do. Three things, right? And these are the things that you can do for yourself, okay? And of course, it will definitely help you next year. And by the way, I'm not asking you to do these things only now, throughout the next year, it's also a huge intentional practice. These three main things. Okay, I would say the first one is you got to practice extremely a lot of grounding work. And I'm guilty for it because this year, even though I preached to say a lot, to do a lot, but I didn't do as much. And I try to do as much as I can, but there's just too many things that's happening, and I try to do as much. But I think I'm getting better now. Throughout as we are ending the year, I'm getting back into my regular practice. But coming back to understanding what grounding means, many people don't really understand what grounding means. What I mean by grounding in here, what it means is you want to bring yourself back to the present. So grounding has many different techniques, yeah. So grounding is just a term, and how you can achieve grounding has multiple ways, okay? There's multiple ways, right? But ultimately, the goal is to keep you back to the present, okay? Like in Chinese, we say 翻來咯, you know, 冇飄下飄下咁樣. So it's literally like, you know, the flower, right? You 飄下, you fly. Yeah, and it's very dangerous to do that, especially in period 9, because we fly, then we don't know where we go and cannot come back anymore. Okay, because we found another different world out there. It's very dangerous in terms of our mental health. Okay, now there are few ways to find grounding. These are the few ways that I would recommend, and you can absolutely do this at home at your free time. Okay, of course, if you ask me, I would have the same day every day to repeat what I'm doing. I'm boring like that, right? But you don't have to do that. But these are little practices you can do at home. Like the first one, grounding exercises, okay, is when you learn how to, is when you can do, what you can do is to learn how to breathe. Okay, learn how to breathe. Okay, and I know it may sound very obvious, like, hey, come on, we are breathing every day. Well, as I'm telling you now, please focus at your breath. Now, can you feel? Are you breathing now, guys? Even for me, yeah, because as I'm talking, I may forget to breathe. How about you? Well, when you are listening, when you are doing anything, are you actually focusing on your breath? So the idea is, when you do breathing, you are bringing your attention to the breath work, bringing attention. So when you start bringing attention to your breath work, you will realize that this breath is functioning around you, and that's how you can actually be in the present. If we are not focusing on our breath, we are possibly easily somewhere else. Okay, so breathing is a very important thing. So even if you don't know any technique, because breath work has about 17, 14, the one that I learned at least, yeah, styles, yeah. There are many techniques of it, but you don't have to be that complicated. You just focus on inhaling and exhaling, and that is already very good grounding exercise that you can do for free at home. Okay, you can do for free at home. Okay, very easy. The second one, as you can see, is a movement. Now, movement is also a grounding activity. When I mean by movements, you can also experience them in terms of light stretches. Imagine this way, yeah. The reason why we are disconnected to the self, like escaping away, is because we don't connect to our body. Our body is the only present thing that is happening at this space right now. So if you start to stretch your body, don't you feel that you are feeling something pulling on your body? Then your attention will come straight to your body. Correct? When your attention comes straight to your body, then you can feel them. Most of the time, people don't feel their body because lack of being present, because you're somewhere else, so you don't feel you're around. So lack of feeling. So if you do exercise every day, usually you connect to your body better because you notice your body is there. You don't be too surprised, yeah, by the way, because I've passed the phase whereby I don't exercise. Now exercise is just part of my life already. But back then, before I embarked into spirituality, which is like 2015 or so, that was before. I'm not one who exercise. I haven't even joined yoga yet. But I don't think I was aware at all in my body, like where pain, where not pain, I am not sure. And it just feels different. You're not connected to your body. So by stretching, it can help you to do that. Now, the next one is meditation. Now, meditation, again, is not something that everyone can do, by the way, because sometimes you may need some guidance to go into the meditative state. Even like for me, even though I guide meditation, um, sometimes if I am not in my right mind, right, I do struggle to meditate. So one way is that if you want to practice this at home, you can actually just switch on a YouTube, put on your earphones, and meditate. And today there's a lot of apps. There's a lot of apps that has meditation, just an app, right? I think there's one I use is like a timer. Just a very good app, very basic app, right? It's just to help you to meditate. Okay, you can actually use that if you don't know how to meditate yourself. Now, because it's a grounding meditation, it's slightly different. There are many types of meditation, right? So grounding meditation, again, the idea is what? Feeling your body, okay? Grounding is about coming back on earth and you start feeling your body. Now, some meditation can make you fly one. We don't want that. Some meditation can make us fly one, okay? Is it okay? Yeah, but the purpose now is grounding. So I would suggest if you know this technique, you can try to do like a body scan meditation. Body scan meditation is quite common in a yoga practice. When you do shavasana, the last sleeping pose, you scan from the head to toe. So you imagine you're scanning, and you can feel the tingling sensation from your head to your body to your toe. And when that's happening, your energy is actually coming back to the present. So that's one form of grounding. Another one, if you know, you can also use the chakra meditation method. Okay, because chakra meditation also you are if you got learned and if there's guidance, right, you're actually coming back to the center of your body, and you're creating that alignment and the energy, the chi flow from head to toe, right? So that also helps in terms of grounding, because again, we don't want to be out there. We want to come back, right? So that's grounding. So if you are practicing even certain form of meditation, please understand that there are different type of meditations that are for better for different usage. Okay, better from different usage. So if you are practicing this at home, please do it, because I would say if you can, there's never too much of it. If you ask me for grounding, okay, there will be too much of the visualization, the flying one. But for grounding work, if you ask me, I don't find that that's always enough, because most of the time now we are not in our body, we are not in the present most of the time. So doing a lot of grounding work is going to be very helpful no matter how. Okay, typically if you want to know, maybe 10, we don't really have the time every day. Maybe 10 minutes a day, if you can do, if you're doing 20 minutes, it's really an excellent thing. So it's not about how long you do, it's about how consistent you're doing it at the end of the day. Okay, so that's another grounding meditation. Now, the next one is journaling. Okay, journaling is also a very simple and free type of grounding activity, right? Just take a pen and a paper. Now, if you ask me, there are some people who like to journal through their phone, because now Apple have the app, right? I'm not sure other apps, but Apple has a journal app right now. Yeah. Groundhog by walking. Oh yes, by the way, so now Sally here has mentioned walking on grass. If you have the garden, right? If you have the garden, you have the space, you can actually barefoot and walk on grass and try to stand still. Try to stand still at one position and take a few breaths and close your eyes. That is grounding. Yeah, that is grounding. And try to smell the grass. Smell the grass. That's a very good grounding activity. Okay, now coming back on journaling. Some people actually like to put on the phone as journaling. Personally, I don't advise that. The best way is always to physically put it out in journal. Put it out, take a pen and paper. You don't care whether you're still keeping the paper or not, but the best way to practice grounding is to take a pen and write it down. That's the best way. Writing on the phone, writing on the computer doesn't work. Doesn't work. Trust me, I've done that before, right? It really makes a huge difference in the practice. Okay? And when you start to journal, you're writing down a lot of your thoughts. You're bringing back yourself to the reality. And again, staying in the present, right? Now, again, why is this very important? Because if we are not in the present, right, and over time, can you imagine we are always so anxious about what's happening next? And if we are so worried about what's happening in the past will repeat in the future, you're neither here or there. Don't you think, guys? You agree with me that it's actually very tiring? Yeah, very tiring to always worry the future, which technically you can't do much about it anyway. It's only 50% you can do about it. And the past, worry that the past will actually happen again. Wow, that's going to be a very tiring time. Now, on top of that, it's already a very tiring year. The whole year, the whole period 9 itself is extremely tiring. So if we don't learn how to care for ourselves in this way, right, and be aware of this, it's going to create a lot of anxiety. And whenever this anxiety starts to pick up, don't only think that it's going to happen in us. This anxiety will actually transmit towards people around you. And that's how drama happens. That's how drama happens, because the moment we have this anxiety, we are anxious, don't you think that it's gonna like break a lot of relationships? Don't you think that don't you think it's impossible? It's impossible to talk to people nicely. Easily you get triggered by little bit things. Anxiety. Okay? And all these little things actually is helping us more than just 1 year. But 2025 is going to be the biggest one. Okay, the spike of it. So these are the little things you can do. Okay, grounding. Many grounding activities you can play and do at home for free. Now, the next one is about releasing. Why is releasing very important? Because again, when we are doing all the social media stuff, when we are exposed to external things, right, we are absorbing a lot of things as well. Like it or not, guys. So every day, even when I am dealing with consults, do you know that most of our job, by the way, is when people have serious problems. That's why they come to consultants. Yes, you agree? So most of the time, could you imagine the kind of negativity that will actually impact us? That's why before this, right, many people are very worried, saying that, hey, when you do this kind of work, don't you get sick all the time? Yeah, don't you get sick all the time? Because technically in the whole session, you're listening to people's problem, and most of you're dealing with those kind of things, and it's actually very negative. Yeah, but that's the thing. We need to always learn how to release. So during this period, especially now, even when we are trying to enter a new year, it's good to just release. And throughout the whole year as well, a lot of vampire energy, a lot of negative energies. We need to learn how to release. So it's not a one-time thing, guys. You need to learn the process of it, and it takes time to learn. And I think this perhaps, to me at least, so everyone has a different has a different kryptonite. So for me, one of my kryptonite is actually releasing, because I don't let go of things so easily. I don't let go. I bite one thing, I don't let go. Stubborn, right? But actually, we need to release. Okay, we need to release. And it's really letting go negative emotions. We cannot hold on to it. So negative emotions means what? Maybe someone has mistreated you. You have that emotions, or maybe even if it's not you, but people around you, very toxic environment. Even if you're there, you're absorbing the energy, yeah, just so you know. Yeah. And the social media, sometimes all the negative things are there, right? So again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't browse it. Just know when to stop. Just know that you're actually absorbing it, whether you are consciously paying attention to it or not. Okay. So all these require a release. A release. Whenever you release, then you can invite good ones coming in. Otherwise, imagine we build so big. Cannot lah. Cannot. And then we become the toxic one later, and we carry the toxic energy everywhere we go. So sometimes, if we don't know how to give out positive energy, what we can do is we don't give out negative energy lah. So that's the thing. And our responsibility here is to release the negative energies. Now, so how can you do it again? Few ways. Okay, it's very simple, but the intention is slightly different. So if you notice the first one, when I mentioned about grounding work, we also do breathing, right? Okay, now the breathing will be slightly different, because most importantly, you're setting the intention to release. That's a different one, by the way. So whenever we breathe for grounding, we are bringing the intention back to our breath, our body. But whenever we are releasing, we are throwing out a lot of the heavy things from and through our breath. So if you are guided by me, I would have guided you to pull out all the breath from your whole body and release it out. So it's still a breath work, but it's a different type, because the purpose is different. So the intention is very important. That's the reason why I'm telling you grounding or releasing. Okay, so once you have that in mind, if you're not sure what to do, but just do breathing, you just set the intention. I want to release, and you just breathe. I want to ground, and you just breathe. Intention is 50% of the game. Okay, very important. Now again, movement as well, same. Yeah, when we move to release and we move to ground, it's also intentional. Now, meditation is also the same. Now, of course, there are few types of meditation that is meant for releasing. Okay, so it depends on what kind of meditation. But if you don't know, you only know a little bit, it's okay. You just set your intentions right. There are a lot of videos out there which is also teaching you how to meditate to release negative energies, release tensions, stress, anxiety. Do that. Okay. Now you don't have to say, example, today you do one meditation. Can you combine both? Can. Okay, can. Or you want to do grounding today, tomorrow release. Can or not? Can. No problem. Okay, no problem. Right? So you can do that. Okay, today, besides internet that is giving us a lot of different type of energies, it also has its benefit. We can see and find many different resources. Okay, now what I really like is the fourth one, okay, which is a very simple thing, trashing out whatever things that you have at home. Now, this is a very, very important thing, at least for me, because every morning, even though I cannot do that three things, I would always throw rubbish. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys are like that. Honestly, yeah, I will throw rubbish, I will declutter. Okay, I will declutter. And it's a very simple thing, but I can tell you, honestly, I've done feng shui quite a lot. You'll be surprised that some people don't declutter. And that is the fundamental rule of feng shui. Yeah? Sometimes I just tell my client, hey, you don't need feng shui, you just need a cleaner. You know that, right? Because why? Because all these things around you are storing all the negative energy. How can you release and expect things to change when you don't make space to change, right? So decluttering is so important. It might be some like, oh yeah, declutter, but you'll be surprised that, and I was surprised that many people don't declutter. I declutter every morning. Every morning. Well, sometimes if I'm late, I don't do that, but I come home, I will do it. But every morning, I will always declutter first, which is, by the way, every morning, please don't jump to your phone first. I'm guilty of it, honestly. This year is a very intense year for me. I'm guilty of it, but try not to be very conscious about it because, by the way, this waking up and going to the phone thing is a Yitsu problem. Okay, when you wake up from your dream, you want to continue dreaming again through your phone. So let's be more conscious about that. And this practice takes time. We take time to actually undo it because it's such an addictive thing. But this is simple ways you can actually release. But again, if you don't really know how to do it properly, you don't have the guidance or experience, please just set the intention to. Even though you're just sitting down. Yeah? I can tell you this is that's why a lot of times it is not about how well you do something, but how much you want to get it done. Especially when it comes to energy work. Sometimes if you don't know how to meditate, right? Because of course, how many people can meditate? Not many, okay? Even in a bad day, you can't. But what makes a difference is that you try. You try. The intention will give it in. Trust me. It's about journey, it's a progress. Okay? And that will help the next day, the next hour, next week. Okay? So this is what you can do each day. Now, this is the second point. There are many ways to release, right? Now, the third point, which is the last point, is very important, is this protection. Okay, this is a heavy one, if you ask me. Okay, because now, remember the first one, grounding work. Second, it's releasing. Now, third is protect. Okay, so what I mean by protect means what? You protect your own energy space. Remember, period 9 has a lot of energy vampire, right? Right? I'm serious, period 9, a lot of energy vampire, especially if you have the vibrant energy, you have the positive energy, people will come to you. It's not that people want to do that on purpose, but it's just sometimes when your light is darker, you tend to go to the brighter side. It's normal. But I'm not saying that as the person who has the energy, I'm not saying that you don't help people also. I'm not saying that. Of course, if you have the light, you share the light, right? So what is important though in this process is that even if you give, you have to protect. Protect means what? You safeguard yourself from being affected by whatever energy that people is going to impact you. That's what it means. I'm not saying that you cannot give, you can give, but you need to protect yourself from being contaminated further. Very important. I think for my case, I think this is my most powerful trait. For me, my most powerful trait is this. My most powerful trait is this. So because I have very strong boundaries, and this is just because of my personality, right? Some people is weaker on some side, some people is stronger on certain side. Yeah. So protection, again, there are many types of protection. The first one is to learn how to have breaks. Learn how to have breaks. Say example, when you are working, right? Put certain break timing. Put certain break timing because overloading sometimes and without intervention, we call this intervention, you will lose part of you, and you will, it's like, your wall, your wall will get tired one day, and at a certain hour, if you exhaust it, so you want to put certain breaks so that you are strong enough. So this happens a lot, especially when we are working. How many of you guys actually work non-stop without taking a break? Because it's deadline. I got this and that. I do that, by the way. But now, thank God, I have cats. So if I work from home, every 2-3 hours, they come and meow on my face. So that's when I stop working. I take breaks because of them. Okay? So depends on you now. Do you have that kind of practice? It's very important for protection's sake. You call it quits at one point in time, and let's reset. You build up again and then come back. So have a little bit of break is good. The next one, as you can see here, is put boundaries. Yes, let me repeat, boundaries. Okay, what does boundary means? Boundaries means learn how to say no to certain people. Okay, learn how to say no on certain people, meaning to say verbally, no, no thank you. No thank you. Another way is very difficult to do, which even though you say no, can you say no energetically? Okay? Can you say no energetically? Because some people, they just say no by mouth, yeah, but their, like their wall is open up. So they get affected by the situation. They get affected by other people. Okay? So that is boundary. So boundary sometimes doesn't mean we say no, means that's it. Because the inner side, the inner work itself, we must truly like cross and just say no. And that comes with practice. Of course, I'm not going to go too deep in that, because that itself has a certain work to do. Yeah, putting boundaries. Because most of the time whenever we have a weaker boundary, most of the time it's because we are generally more on a people pleaser. Yeah, because we are afraid of being judged, we want to be accepted, blah, blah, blah. So emotionally or mentally, we allow that situation to come to us. So that is going to weaken your boundaries. Okay, I have no idea why the thing come out. I think my cat pressed it. Oh gosh. Okay. The spider just came out for a cute reason. I don't know where it came out from, but my cat pressed something. Okay. So that is for boundaries. Yeah. The next one, of course, is also a meditation. So if you can see, step 1, 2, and 3, there's always meditation work. Because again, meditation can give a lot of benefits. But again, like I said, if you don't know how to meditate for protection, okay, intention itself. Or sometimes you can do prayers, your own methods of prayers. Okay, your own methods of prayer, and it helps in protection as well. Now, if you want to know some suggestion on meditation, gratitude meditation, I find it very good for protection. Gratitude meditation means focusing on what you have, being grateful. It's a type of meditation. Yeah, it actually protects you from things as well. So there's a way to meditate on that. But again, no pressure, no stress. Okay, no stress. If you don't know how to do it, setting your intentions right. Okay, now I like the last one. The last one is also something that I have recently. So just so you guys, my cat is here. I had to get rid of her, sorry. So this is a very personal live session where my cat tend to invade our session. Okay, so the last part here is finding a safe zone, right? A safe zone. So this is very good. In psychology or in therapy, there's one I once learned it before in one of my classes. Is every time whenever we want certain form of protection, or we are looking for protective layer. You need to have a safe zone. And this you can practice it, by the way. Safe zone, it could be mentally, you want to have your safe zone. Emotionally, you want to have your safe zone. So as and when, whenever you feel vulnerable, yeah, whenever you feel weaker, or whenever you feel that somebody's going to try to take advantage of you, or you feel tired, exhausted, my question is, do you have a safe zone that you can go to take a break? Okay, safe zone, again, doesn't always have to be a space. Well, if you have a space, I have a very naughty cat. If you have a space that is a safe zone, even better. You know, you have a space that is a safe zone, is very good. You can go there to find safety. If you have a safe zone in your mental and emotional practice, you can also go to that safe zone mentally and emotionally. This one, I would say sometimes it may require some practice and guidance. Okay, in therapy, we actually help people to do that in counseling as well. So as long as you find that safe zone, you feel safe there, you actually learn how to draw boundaries better than other people. Okay, so you have that, you know. This works very well for people who feel more vulnerable. Okay, yeah, so that is one way. Another part of safe zone is if you have a certain groups, you know, have you been to circles? Yeah, circles whereby there is a community where you feel safe with. So occasionally going out and hanging out with this safe group of people can also safeguard you from certain toxic or negative, okay, negative environment or people. My cat is so naughty today. No idea why. Okay, I think she wants to be on the screen. No, shush. Okay, so these are few ways to protect yourself. Okay, so of course, I'm not saying that this is the only way, but these are the easy way where you can actually practice at home. Now, all these things doesn't happen just one night, by the way. All these things doesn't happen just one night. This takes time, practice over and over. It's actually a journey, because as we live day in, day out, we get this every now and then. So it comes with practice. Sometimes it's harder. Some days are better. Some days you can't at all. Again, like I said, what's important is that you try your very best, because there are ups and downs, right? But if we are aware of it, we intentionally do it. And all these are actually for your sake, not anyone's sake. And if you think that this doesn't bring you any benefit, well, think about it. If you get better, don't you think other people get better too? People around you? Yeah. So a lot of times whenever clients come and ask me, how can I help that person? Well, first of all, can you help you first? Because most of the time we cannot help other people unless we become the change that other people can be. That's the only way. These are the little things that you can do for yourself. Very simple things. And I'd like to summarize this, you know, grounding, releasing, and protection. Three ways. Extremely important, especially in a Yi Si year. Okay, Yi Si year. I would say grounding is always important, but I would say releasing and protection, it's very important. Yeah, so always needs to practice that, okay, regardless whatever you're doing. Because you know, I believe you will see more drama, more toxic people, more things you will see that is not happy, unhappy things happening. So no matter what, we need to release. Okay, now guys, oh, thank you for staying in for quite some time. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Yes, are you guys enjoying this? Let me know. Hi, type in the chat box. Are you guys enjoying this? You like this? No comment. Why so quiet? Yeah, you guys are here or am I seeing it? It's not coming up yet. Yes, guys? You like this? You like what I'm sharing with you? Yes? These are little things that you can do at home, yeah? Very simple things. Okay, good. Okay, I'm looking at your comments now. Okay, great. Okay. Because very slow, the internet. Join late. Oh, no problem. Okay. So these are very simple things. I think it's extremely important that throughout the whole year, well, it's not many months left, right? Also, here also very tiring. But these are the little things that you can help yourself. Okay, that's why I'm not going to talk about the all the other things yet. Okay, but yeah, little things you can do. So yeah, so now as you guys know, right, if you want to experience more with us, right, we are having this workshop. Okay, so unfortunately for those who are not in Malaysia, you cannot do this because this is like an every year event for us, right? And the reason why we came up with a certain pattern of workshop is to cater for this purpose. So just so you know, the things that myself and Cindy do, we don't just come up with random stuff. What we do is we see the energy of the year, and we use the tools and expertise that we have. We curate a certain journey for you. Okay, we curate a certain journey for you. So this year we are trying to always set ground because for this whole year we've been doing workshops here and there. We haven't actually got a permanent space yet that we really like, but we are trying to settle down on one right now. Just so you know, right? So in this coming month, next month, we'll be having this release and realign workshop. Release and realign workshop. It's actually a special curation, right? We mix things here and there just so that to support the whole situation, right? Because there are so many things that we can do, right? Sometimes we wonder why did we choose this? Okay, it's because we study the energies and we see what we can adjust to make things better. So this upcoming workshop that we're having, if you're interested and if you're in Malaysia, that you can enjoy this. We can't do this online, unfortunately, because the energy will spread if we do it online. It's very different. So this upcoming session on November, it's going to be on November 15. We'll be having, first part is grounding meditation. This session will be led by Cindy. She's more expert in a certain type of meditation. She will guide us to that situation. And of course, after that, we're going to go to the sound bath. Okay. Now, sound bath, it's more like a lazy way. Okay, and it facilitates the chi flow. It facilitates the energy. So sometimes we wonder, how can this thing actually work? Well, that's why we need to match with the grounding meditation. Personally, I don't do sound bath without grounding, because there's this thing on me that I need to do grounding first. Even when I do the sound bath, I always start with grounding work. Always, right? So it's going to be coupled with a grounding activity, sound bath as well. And this will help to facilitate our grounding work as well. Yeah, our grounding work. And not only that, the key here is to realign. Okay, so remember we talked about the chakra, and I'm not going to talk much about it, right? I'm not really a huge expert on chakras anyway. My level of expertise is only up to when I study in my yoga classes. But the whole point is to realign our energies at our nadis, at our chakras, right? And that will help us in doing whatever we need to. That's why there will be one whole segment just for the sound therapy. After that, interesting is we're going to move on to our journaling session. Yeah. Again, why? Because the whole point of this workshop is to pen down. Well, I can tell you this activity gives me goosebumps, and because this is generally a repeat or a smaller version of what we have done in our retreat early this year. Early this year, a retreat. It's a massive goosebumps. The difference is that a retreat, we have the space and we have very good date selection and location and stuff. That's why it's very high energy. But for a workshop like this, it's a duplicate of it. So this will include a journaling session after we do the grounding work. breath work and sound bath work, we have that clarity. So once we have the clarity, we now can execute the journaling better. And once we have the journaling execution better, we pen down. We start penning down, that's when you can actually release. So it's like, it's like whenever we wash, this is a very good analogy that's just come into my mind. Whenever we start cleaning plates, right, we put all the soap first, scrub. Okay, let it loosen up first. And then now we can push it out and wash it out with the water, because without putting the hard work, we cannot wash it out. So it's this kind of feeling. So the journaling part is like, we are writing it down and we are pushing it all out. You feel lighter. Seriously, it's always the kind of year where I really like to do it, because usually when the whole year, right, we have lots and lots of things that we want to purge out. And sometimes it's so difficult. So there might be people who be crying because there's just so many to release. And sometimes it gets very emotional because, by the way, guys, letting go of a process, the healing work itself, it's sometimes very emotional, because sometimes we care so much about the thing, but it no longer serves us, but we still need to let go for our better self. So sometimes it can get very emotional. So we have also experienced before, even for myself, that even though in this process, we can get very emotional because there are things that we truly need to let go of. And this process will guide and support you to do that. Of course, it's a collective energy that matters. That's why grouping is good. After journaling, we're going to do this thing called the fire puja. So this picture, you're not sure you can see there. It's actually the papers that you journal. This is also a very popular exercise that we tend to do in therapy. So sometimes what we do is we write down whatever we don't want anymore and we tear it down, tear it, and then scribble, and then we throw it away. Now, another very, very effective way is to burn it out. Burn it out. Yep. So there'll be a fire, everything go out. So for those who were with us last year, I think last year the theme was conscious clarity. The theme was a little bit different last year. It was conscious clarity. Okay, so last year we did the same thing as well, right? Last year we did the same thing as well. We went and burned everything out. So it's a big sense of relief that was being put out. So that's a releasing activity. Okay, that's a releasing activity. Okay, now the next one. Oops, how come no image? That is strange. Oh, okay. I don't know why my image is not coming out, but there is a very beautiful background. I have no idea what happened to the image. But the last segment after the fire puja is actually the oracle card reading. Now, this session is where basically it will be randomly picked. Your cards will be randomly picked. So for those who know Yi Jing, well, it goes by the same format, but we are using oracle cards. Again, it's nothing to do with forecasting or anything, but oracle card is for this intention, this workshop, right? It's meant for closure. So imagine if once you release everything already, there's a certain message behind it, certain wisdom behind it, that it's divine given, that is given by the universe, something that you can see for yourself. So, and I can tell you one thing, because we don't know your story, right? Most of the time we don't know your stories, okay, unless you tell us about it. But whenever we do this practice, it's such a scary thing. Every time the cards that we get will tend to resonate with you, like it or not. You'll be like, oh, like that all the time. You'll be like, oh my gosh, it's like immediately hit straight to the point, and why we do this for the ending part, it's meant for closing. Closing means like, okay, now that you have done this, what is the wisdom behind this? What are you trying to learn? How can you move forward from here? So the oracle card reading can give you a better insight for what you can understand with the whole situation of releasing. So it gives you a lot of clarity. Okay, it gives you a lot of clarity. So if I were to put it in a picture, it would be like that. So in this journey of release and realign, the focus point is this, right? We start off with some grounding and releasing, and then with the bowls, it helps with alignment and gives you some clarity. And then from the fire puja and journaling, it gives some release and also clarity. Whenever we write down things, we suddenly feel that everything just unentangled. And that's a practice. Okay, and the last but not the least, from the oracle cards, and I don't know what oracle cards we are using this time. Okay, I don't know what's the secret behind it as well. It's a lot of things we kind of use our gut with it. It's going to come with wisdom. Okay, it's going to come with wisdom. So it's really a journey for us to walk through this process. So in this workshop, we are doing quite a number of stuff actually, quite a number of stuff because yeah, the reason why we curate this is really meant for that purpose itself, and we use whatever is required to serve its purpose basically. Okay, so this is what we are doing for this upcoming workshop. Now, if you are not with us, not in KL, some other countries, unfortunately, you can practice this on your own as well. Because this method itself, it's not just because we are doing it. Okay, of course, when we are doing it, in some ways we are kind of trained to do it, and energetically we are containing certain energy as well. There's a lot of energy work behind, and the collective community that comes together, it gives the push of energy so that everyone is there to support everyone. That will make a difference, of course, than practicing at home. But if you cannot come, or you're some other part of the country, you can practice this at home as well. So it's a process that it's created in a certain way to support you. Okay, so this is what I'm going to share. So on top of all these 3 steps you can do at home, you can do things like that as a sequence. It gives you a better process in it. Okay, but this is what we are doing. This is what we are doing in our workshop. Okay, now guys, if you are still in with us, right? This is our workshop. I think some of you guys may have already seen it, right? And by the way, this is also the first time. Like, remember earlier on, I was saying that we are trying to find a space to settle in. Now, where's the space? Okay, the space is actually called the Ruyuan Training and Healing Space. Okay, so this is a space itself whereby most likely we are going to settle in there as a more permanent thing. So we get a lot of questions like, hey, when is your next workshop and things like that, because we don't really have a clue each time. But now, because it's a new space that we are engaging with, most likely if things go well with these workshops and there's good feedback and people like what we do, we are going there for like quite permanently. Okay, so this is where you can actually find us. That is also the reason why we are also giving up an introductory price for this workshop. So out of all that we are doing, you can see all the 4 things that we are doing. We are only charging 89 ringgit for it. Okay, and this is actually an introductory price. Okay, so you get all of this. Now, you ask me how long. In here, stated 8 to 9:30. Sometimes you may extend a little bit more, right? I think like last year, you extended until like 10:30 or something. I don't know, 10 o'clock. But last year was a different session. So different things going on, all right? But yeah, so this is going to be at 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Okay, so this is only if you're available in KL, and it's going to be happening on the 15th of November, and it's a Friday night. Okay, Friday night. We're going to be sharing more on the location soon, so you can see what is the space like, how is the space like, right? So if you are in here, feel free to join us. Don't have to be too worried. Like I know previously for those who join us, you need to bring your own yoga mat and stuff. Now you don't have to. Everything is provided for. Just come in with the comfortable clothing. Everything is provided for, your water bottle and things like that. Now, this is actually a very limited space, guys, because the space itself is limited. So if you want to join us, please sign up the soonest. Yeah, please sign up the soonest, because once the space is been filled up, it's been filled up. No more anymore. Okay, because the space itself is limited, so we cannot take any more participants or students in. Okay, so yeah, so basically, if you enjoy and if you want to experience, I would say, doing this with us, okay, feel free to join us on the 15th of November. Now, also, if you have any friends who you think that is wanting to try out something new, wanting to find a space to release, please do recommend them this as well. We are slightly new in this realm as well, honestly. We don't do it as per every week kind of basis. We only do it as per event, because we curate our experiences differently according to needs. Okay, so that is why we don't do it all the time. Okay, but now is where hopefully, if with the right support, we can do this more often. Okay, right, so that's it, guys. Okay, so I hope you learn a thing or two here. Yes, you guys learned something here. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this though. Okay, so this by the way, sometimes people are asking, how do I know what to do, right? Actually, it depends on the year. So yeah, I personally, because I use a lot of metaphysics, right? So I will combine a lot of metaphysics energy to some of the healing work that is required, because there are so many types. What do we do, correct? So we study the year, we study what is it needed, then we do it. So yeah, guys, if you're interested, feel free to join the soonest, okay? The soonest, okay? So you can actually print screen this, sorry, scan the QR, go through it, or if not, click on the link. Okay, click on the link. Yeah, and for those who are not from Malaysia, because I know a couple of you guys are not from here, so you guys cannot experience this, but you can try to practice this at home. Okay, you can try to practice little things like this at home. It will definitely help in your work as well. Okay, right? So, right, anything? Oh, thank you very much, Eleonora. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So nothing else. If you guys have nothing to say in the comments. So for those who wants to join this, right? I think for those who are Instagram, because I couldn't bring in the links to the Instagram. But if you are interested, do drop me a direct message, yeah, to join this session. Okay, yeah. So this is very limited space. Once it's full up, it's full. Okay, with that, guys, thank you, and I will see you again soon. Okay, because I'll be coming up more live these days. Right? Okay, guys, thank you for staying in and being here with me. I'll see you again. Bye. And my cat has lost. Thank you. See you. See you.